Yeah, today sucked. I got up early because I had to go in the office. I'm in the office all week for training.
That blows.
And then picking up Og, I had to come home and give him a bath immediately
At least he's
because he
good
fucking
though.
smelled like all sorts of shit.
At least he's good though.
Um, yeah, thankful for it too. Like we knew he was good yesterday morning when he
Yeah.
passed 4 fucking tampons. It was just a matter of getting him eating. He still hasn't eaten much. I got to give him meds here in a little bit, in about an hour. Um, but yeah, other than that, we're good to go. He's in much better shape. He's just fucking tired.
Oh, I can imagine.
So,
Fucking
all right, I'm ready when you are.
damn. Yeah. All right. Cool. What a fantastic weekend though of pro wrestling. I all around. I thought Friday, Saturday, Well, nothing on Sunday, but tonight I thought Raw was great tonight. I had a good time with Raw. What'd you think?
I liked it.
Oh,
I
really
thought the
quick.
main event was well thought.
Really quick. I don't know why I forgot to do this. Well, what do you want me to refer you as? Just John or?
John,
Okay.
John's fine.
All right. All right. What a fantastic weekend of pro wrestling. I'm here with my
Yeah,
boy. I'm here with my boy John. We're gonna discuss it for a little bit tonight. What a phenomenal weekend. How's your weekend been, by the way? I know you had a little rough go of it for a little while with the pups, but we got that under control.
uh,
God bless.
tiring. Between work travel last week,
Oh yeah.
coming home to that, sports,
How'd that
um, fixing up everything.
how did that
Um,
how did that strip club across the street from the library work out?
Never ended up going. I I I
Ah.
I just what's funny is I thought it was funny and that's why I mentioned it to you, like just to give anybody a reference that's listening into because it's kind of inside baseball with me and Adam. I was in Charleston, West Virginia for work last week, and they have a massive, and when I say this, it's massive. It's actually bigger. I believe it's bigger than downtown Cleveland's library. Like it's huge. I mean, they've got like a 5-story parking garage across the street for the damn thing. But on the other one of the other sides of the street there, and only in West Virginia, was a strip club right outside of a public library. Like how where else would you have that? Like you don't have that in Ohio. You don't have that anywhere. Hell, I'd be so hard shocked to find that in like Vegas of all places too. But Charleston, West Virginia, sure as shit, strip club.
I can't even believe that's
Um,
legal.
I mean, if you travel I-77 coming from Ohio, where we're based out of, and go down there too, like every other billboard and sign there is either a strip club or a porn store. So, is it really that shocking?
I guess you got those little glory holes on the side of the road that you can go pull off to and catch a flick and a blowjob all
Nope.
at the same time.
You know what's funny? I just found out something today. You ever done glass blowing in the past, where
I've
they
never,
have like the little glass pieces with it?
I've
The
never
little
done.
hole that you stick the glass into for the furnace is called the glory hole.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Use that. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and use that.
So, but no, I agree. I thought wrestling this weekend, for the most part, was good.
I
Royal
I
Rumble
know
for
I
most.
I know. John can never be happy.
I would say I
With
was very happy about the Royal Rumble, with the exception of one match, and we'll get into that.
what match was it?
Raw tonight, I missed the first half an hour, but from what everything else I saw was great. The main
What
event was fantastic.
what match did you not like?
I didn't necessarily like the outcome for the men's Rumble, and I have reasoning for it.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
hate that they did it, but I
okay.
don't think it really ends up. So we can go through match by match here real quick. Women's Rumble, perfectly fine with. Um,
You know what?
you have Charlotte.
Well, hold on. Let me pull up. I know I'm gonna probably screw up my stream here. Let me see if I screwed anything up. I did not. Uh,
Story of Enzo.
let me pull up the Wikipedia page for
Yeah.
the Royal Rumble, just so.
So it started with the women's rumble. So we know that's one thing where we can start with here too while you're pulling that up. Women's rumble, I didn't hate.
I thought the
Charlotte's
women's.
come back.
Hmm,
Charlotte's going to be a heel. It doesn't matter who you place her with.
right.
You can play it out for a week or two of who she's going to wrestle, and it works. You could have her face Rhea again. I don't think anybody would complain about that match.
Yeah, no,
You
I
can
think
have her
that's.
face Tiffany. I don't think anybody would complain about that match either. The only way it wouldn't work is if you had her face Julia, which I don't think makes sense, but they're not going to go down that route a second time where she's going to NXT to
Right,
face for
right.
that title. So, preferably I think Rhea to finish that off is the better option, but I
Right.
wouldn't hate her and Tiffany either.
What I like so much, and we'll get into this, of course, with like the Royal Rumble, the men's Royal Rumble, is that both Rumbles you didn't know there was that like
Right.
there was so
Correct.
every year it feels like with the Royal Rumble, like you get there, you kind of know who's going to win. You already kind
Yes.
of know it makes sense that Cody Rhodes is going to win his second one, so he can go face
Yeah.
Roman again. Like you know this going in. There was none of that with this one. Actually, I mean, I went with Jordan Grace because
Mhm.
I just thought it. How cool
I
would that be? But
I had an inkling on Charlotte, but it wasn't like if I were, to place betting odds that I would say she wasn't the odds-on favorite. Like Jay, and we'll get into, is definitely someone we wouldn't have thought of,
right,
but you could see how it makes sense for Charlotte. And it's semi predictable because she just came back and you're elevating whoever, she's going to go to Mania and she's not going to win, or she shouldn't win,
no, she
whoever she
shouldn't.
faces.
Right,
But it's going to elevate, like her if she say she faces Tiffany and she loses to Tiffany, that makes Tiffany,
right.
like makes her. Um she loses to Rhea. I mean, I don't think Rhea necessarily needs it. And now the more I think about it and kind of thinking it out loud, I think it needs to be Tiffany and put Tiffany over. Because like, what exactly do you get out of Rhea? Like, other than, I mean, it's hard for her.
Well,
Like,
so
what who else to put her with? Liv, blow it off. Liv, finally,
well,
maybe.
they 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 teased. It'll be the third match. It's the rubber
Right,
match. They're both 1-1. So Rhea
right,
has that. She went over Charlotte best 2 out of 3.
right,
She won that trilogy.
right.
So I think that is the way that would end up going. And to me, I
Yeah,
think that makes more sense than anybody else.
but you can make Tiffany if you put her over.
Sure. But also, who's to say Becky Lynch doesn't come back to do that? Or
Sure. But you
so,
can always have Becky and Rhea, and that's a perfectly fine main event on
but
the
it,
Raw side.
but it wouldn't be the third match. Like, you know what I mean? This is the third WrestleMania match. So, like,
Sure.
I and who knows if
But
Becky ends up coming back or whatever. It could be Alexa
correct.
Bliss. Who
She
knows?
might.
Maybe Alexa Bliss gets put into a main event, women's main event spot
I
with
could see
Tiffany.
Alexa. I could see Alexa and Tiffany.
Which how great was that?
Right.
Speaking of the the woman
Yep.
rumble, when stick that in your pipe and smoke it or whatever he said, shove that up your ass, you dirt sheets. I thought it was really weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was really a
No, I'm good with
weirdly
it.
timed article
Well,
or story
I
that
will
leaked.
say, anytime you get a chance to drag Dave Meltzer on live television, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Right.
Like, and me, I'm a petty person with it too. And the amount of times that man has dragged the WWE in the last 30 years, and them in Triple H systematically just beating him over the head with stuff the last year or so has just got to be. And Triple H fed that line too,
Oh
by the
my
way.
god.
Yeah. So you gotta think like how big of a shit-eating grin did he have on his face feeding that line? Like it's so good. Um, like I don't even think I would hate on Dave if he just wasn't such a just a pissant about the WWE and fellating the AEW every chance he got.
Right.
Like if he was like,
Like he's on the
it's
payroll.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it would be one thing if the man tried to be impartial, but he doesn't even try.
No.
And
Not at all.
like so, but no, like her coming back was great. Biggest pop of the night.
Oh, for sure.
Um
Well, outside of
I
maybe
you
Jay
got to
or
think she's
something.
going to SmackDown. You know, unless she was on the first half an hour of Raw tonight, I
No,
don't.
she was not.
She's got to be on
She
SmackDown,
was not on Raw tonight.
which is funny because she's from Columbus and it was in Cleveland tonight. I
She
think
went.
she still lives in
She went to
Columbus.
Kent State too. No, she lives in Florida.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, they all do now,
Right.
or California, one of the two. Um, but yeah, it is kind of funny. I think what's SmackDown this week? Is it in Columbus?
Mm. Uh.
Uh, to each their own on that. So and I'll be full disclosure, I did not watch all of the Rumble with everything going on this weekend. I
Right.
didn't
Right.
have
Right.
time to, so saw a lot of snippets. I know what was the second match? Was that the tag match?
The tag match. Yeah. Um. Hold on.
Um,
Where?
I I didn't like the outcome of the tag match. It's a Big Four pay-per-view. You're promoting a best 2 out of 3 falls match and have a kind of very weird um, run-in finish that had to be explained away for a Big Four pay-per-view. If this were
Hold on.
Elimination
John, hold on one
Chamber,
second. What's up?
no, you're good.
Connor made ramen. Connor made ramen and he put Takis in it.
Sounds like a 16, 17-year-old boy, right?
Right.
Or 14 or however old he is now.
15.
Sounds like a teenage boy.
15. It's gross. Wait, okay. Well, today. Alright, fine. I'm trying to figure out where the hell.
So let's just go and the tag match
It's
seconds.
it's in Memphis. SmackDown this week.
Oh, it's in Memphis
Yeah.
Thursday, Saturday, Friday.
Wait,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
yeah, it's in Memphis.
Okay, whatevs. But so I wonder if they're gonna do an AEW reference there too about Smoky Mountain Wrestling too.
They might.
I
I love the
could see Triple H being petty like that, but no, that'd be funny. But the tag match.
yeah.
So if this were Elimination Chamber, or this would be like a throwaway PLE that's not a Big Four event, I don't think I probably would have had as big of a problem with it. But we're talking Royal Rumble here, and it was a weird, kind of convoluted ending to the match
Yeah.
with the Street Profits running in. Like, I didn't love it. Like, the fact that they had to kind of explain why the Street Profits were running in
Yeah, they had to kind of
made
explain
no
it
sense to
away
me.
instead of it just like.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. Oh, I mean, it could
I'm I'm
be. It could
I'm
be.
fine with the
It
ending,
it could be. It could
but
be a situation though where like they're trying to. They're like it's the Royal Rumble. It's on Peacock. You know, there's a chance that you're gonna grab a few more casual eyes that may not understand why the Street Profits came in and seemingly turned on Motor City Machine Guns, and
right,
then well after that
and
then they
cost
took out.
right.
But also with that to that point too, I also kind of think that it kind of you don't even have to explain it away. Is just if they hold up the titles and they're like, we're coming for these and throw them down. And
Well,
you know what you
it's
did?
also heel and heel too. So now you're gonna push a program with two heel tag teams. Like
Possibly.
if this were to be the other way around, like if it were, you know, one of them was a baby face, I could see, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But now you're doing basically two heel tag teams. You can't tell me the profits are faces. If this were face and face, okay.
I
But
mean,
like now you're pushing the audience to figure out who you want to boo less.
well,
Who's good? Who's the baby face in this
I th-
situation when you have two heel
I
teams?
I think it turns out. I mean, I think at the end of the day, the Street Profits will be the faces.
I think so too, but at the same
And
time with it, now you're having to either try to program your
I
audience to think the profits are the faces here too, and you're just setting yourself up. If so, hypothetically, it's Street Profits versus DIY at WrestleMania.
right.
I think that's what they're going for.
Right.
Now
Well,
they have 2 months
probably
with it.
probably Motor City Machine Guns will be in there too. They're not going to be
Yeah,
out
you
of the
might have.
picture.
I
They're
mean,
going to get their.
I'm not
Which how
saying
cool?
no to that.
Really quick, before I forget this, really quick about this match. How cool was it though to actually have that match be at a Royal Rumble? Johnny
Yes.
Gargano, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin, like
Yeah.
all like in a
I
big match at WrestleMania all these years
yes.
later. Like how cool was that?
So I'm not the
That was
hugest
cool.
Gargano.
Yeah,
I
he's
never really have been. I don't hate him. It's a cool moment. I like Champa, but the problem with them has always been Champa staying healthy, and hopefully,
right.
knock on wood, he stays healthy.
Well, he's changed
Um,
up a little bit too, I think, and he's a little
Correct.
safer.
He's being a little bit more careful with his body, which is appreciated. Love the City Machine Guns. Always have. Whether they were singles, whether they were a tag team together, always loved them.
Right,
Um, Good tag team.
right,
It was
right.
a good match. For the stuff I saw. I didn't care for the ending, and it's going to be a mild thing. Now everybody wanted to give negative feedback for this pay per view. I didn't hate it. I just thought it was
Uh,
a little convoluted with it too. And like you said, you're trying to get more eyes on Peacock. And I like the approach of um, in most situations of you know in a different set of eyes you want to kind of explain it to. There's a time and a place for that.
sure.
A big four pay per view is not one of those places.
I don't disagree. Um,
So
yeah, in about like reaction is like I watched pay per view and like live. My brother loved it. Steve loved it. Everybody that I was talking to live loved it. You're the only person that
yeah,
wasn't there loved it. But then I did look on social media and I was like, holy shit! People actually didn't like this pay per view. Like
I didn't hate it.
I thought it was
I wish
probably my
they would have thought.
favorite Royal
God,
Rumble in a long time. Just for the
no,
fact
and
that
I
there was
agree.
there was so much mystery and like that blurring the
Yeah,
lines and like not really sure
yes,
where they were gonna go with it. And there were so many viable options the whole night.
yeah. And I will say this too, and you alluded to it earlier. There's so many ways that they could take this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pre-planned. You didn't know who was going to win either Rumble. You had thoughts,
Right.
but they went different directions. And again, I don't hate the Charlotte one. I don't hate this tag match.
Mm-mm.
I don't hate the outcome of it. I just same thing goes, and we'll get in the men's Rumble in a bit, but like the same thing goes with that too. Like there's ways you could have did this and still been convoluted there too, where you didn't have to give away the finish or be predictable,
Right.
but at the same time, a different result maybe might be the better option. And I'll get into that more. What's next? The
The
KO and Cody.
Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes and
Ooh,
watching that
um,
live,
was
holy
tough.
shit was that
That was
uncomfortable.
tough to watch. Um, it was a great match, and you know me, I've never been a huge Kevin Owens guy. He's growing on me a little bit. Took me 15 years to grow on him. Um, I will say I'm not a huge fan of all of the dangerous spots there. Um, but at
And
least he saved it for an important pay-per-view
right,
and
and
wasn't throwing it away for 50 people at a bar
yeah,
somewhere.
I mean, it worked in the match. It was a good fucking blow off
Yes.
for that feud.
He's
It was proper.
it was great build.
Right.
The match delivered. Um, you blurred Cody a bit too,
Sure.
having him snap a little bit.
Sure. And
Um,
even having him come back and pose with the belt above.
yes, yes, and it justifies Kevin's heel actions.
Right.
Every last bit of it, like everything he's saying is has some sense of truth with it, and those are the best heels, the ones that
Absolutely.
can tell the truth, and people hate them for it, but still know that they're telling the
Yeah, that
truth,
it's 100.
and that was great.
Drew McIntyre is another one that does a great
Correct.
job of
Same
just
thing. Even
telling you the
even
truth,
Rollins,
but being a good heel with doing it.
I would say Rollins is similar, but he's just not getting the heel reaction because everybody loves the song.
Right.
But um,
I mean, that will come. I mean, I don't know. I think Punk's the one that turns heel. I don't know.
maybe,
I kind of sold myself on it today. It's not going to be Sami Zayn. I think after the package pile drive, unless if like that was
yeah,
Kevin Owens
yeah,
trying to reach him, and maybe
you
he does.
not till after Mania at the earliest, because
Right.
you know it's going to be Kevin and Sammy at Mania now,
Right.
and that's fine.
Right.
Um, no, I mean again, that match was really good. You saw on Raw tonight the after effects of it. Kevin
Sure.
looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
He looked pretty beat up.
Gnarly. His eye was fucked. It was wild.
His eye was really huge shiner in his eye. No, no gripe about the match. I mean, if you're going to have something like that, you want it to be in a big four pay-per-view. It delivered.
Right.
Um, it blow off the for now. I mean, I think they probably revisit Kevin and Cody at some point, but it frees Cody up for right now to move on to his WrestleMania feud.
Sure.
Same thing with Kevin, because I guess yeah, obviously you're going to do after tonight, Sammy. It frees them both up. Um, and it was a good blow off.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I didn't have a problem with the match. Just you cringe watching some of the stuff, like the Alabama Slam. Like you're off by a couple inches and Kevin's not walking.
Oh my god.
Like
There's
you're
the back drop,
yeah,
the back body drop onto
some of
the side of the ladder. Oh my
yeah,
god.
some of the spots on the match. Yeah, like you want to
Yeah.
pause him and say, please don't do that often, because you look at Mick Foley now and you look at how he can barely walk. But I mean, if he's doing this a couple times a year and he knows how to protect himself
I,
and he's fine with it, I'm not gonna tell the guy no, but at the same time, you cringe and like
I think
this guy's got two kids,
I
one
think
special needs.
I think it was a proper blow off. I thought it was a proper
I
blow
I
off.
agree.
I think that those proper blow offs should not happen every year. I think
Right.
that was a proper blow off. It happened at the right spot, but those
Yeah.
that yeah, I don't want to see that match even once a year. I want to see that match means something when it's that brutal. It's been a
Yeah.
God,
I mean, you
maybe
could keep them
John Cena
separated,
Brock
but
Lesnar was the last time I felt
yeah,
like really uncomfortable watching a wrestling match.
I would agree. You could revisit this a couple years down the line,
Mm-hmm.
give it a fresh coat of paint, um, and it won't lessen this. If they go back to this for SummerSlam this year, I'm gonna be a little annoyed by that because it would seem like it would cheapen it a little bit. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I'm hoping that Kevin understands what he's doing to his body there, and
Right.
that's my only concern. He's getting up there in age, and he's got two kids to take care of, one special needs. Like you can't kill yourself like that on a consistent basis. If this is a once a year thing, that's fine. If this becomes a more consistent thing too, like he feels he needs to up it, I don't want him to be Mick Foley.
No,
I don't.
right, right. You know, they did make mention. Um, during the post show, but I haven't been able to find anything that Cody got hurt and that they were thinking he was going to miss significant time. But I don't know if that's just one of
Yeah,
those things where they're
they
trying to
said the
work
same
us.
thing with Roman tonight. They said the same thing with Roman tonight.
Right.
It's basically to give him some time off.
And then it was funny because like even during the press conference, Triple A said, "No, it seems like everybody just some scratches. Nobody really seems to be banged up too bad from this." So I was like, "Well, maybe it is just a
Wait,
week,
listen, Hunter, kayfabe, motherfucker.
right?
Like,
Right? I mean, you're
your
right
PR
in this
team is
shit. Come
telling
on,
you,
man.
yeah, your PR team's is putting out all of this out too, and it's good to give Cody time off and to give that a proper bit of air,
Right.
um,
Before we move
so
into
that both can move on. Right, so both can move on. So, and that's perfectly fine. Same thing with Roman. You know,
right,
they did that tonight. They said he was hurt.
right,
Like it gives him proper time to move on to his next feud.
right.
Give him a couple weeks off. Let him build in the mania.
You, you know what
Um,
else I really like, and this just popped into my head because of these guys taking some time off. But like, look how deep
it's
all of
oh
these
yes,
angles are going, and who's involved. Like, I mean,
this yeah, this Cody and Kevin match could have pay per viewed WrestleMania.
right, right.
Could main evented WrestleMania, and no one would have batted an eye.
But like,
Heck,
but even think about like how many people are technically involved in that storyline. You got all the way to Karrion Kross trying to convince Sami Zayn to turn heel. Like
right?
everybody, New Day was involved a couple weeks ago. Like
Yep.
it's wild how like encompassing it's all, and like almost everybody seems like kind of involved in what's going on in like the main story. That's just
Long term booking.
yeah, man, it's so good.
It's long term booking. Like, and that's what's been missing from every company
Right.
for quite a long time in the United States.
Yep. Long term
Like
booking.
like Vince being in charge there, like, you know, blowing up scripts and rewriting same the day of.
Right.
You
Just to
know,
make it
Tony
profit on
Khan
Dark.
and his ADHD booking
Right.
and not having a story be coherent and consistent. TNA has been guilty of it in the past too. Murder mysteries, you know, random shit too that doesn't make sense. I mean, it's kind of refreshing because they're not insulting your intelligence
Right.
for the first time in a long time. Um, and letting shit breathe and letting you think about things,
Mm-hmm.
which is also awesome at the same time.
Right.
So, what's the next match on this list? I can't remember what
Ah,
all
that
the card that I do.
right into the men's Royal Rumble. Only 4 matches on the
Okay.
card. We go right into the men's Royal Rumble, and it starts out hot with Penta and Rey Mysterio.
Yes. Yes. And that was cool. And I'm going to come out and say it because it kind of reminded me of it tonight watching the New Day versus Dragon Lee and Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Who's benefiting from the LWO? Who is benefiting from that? Nobody is.
Shima Zion gets on TV.
Cool. I mean,
Like
Dragon Lee's getting on TV too. He had a tag match with Ray tonight. Who's benefiting from that?
I don't
Zelina
know.
Vega's not.
I don't understand the point of the two Latino factions. Like like you have one on
They
each show
feuded and
now.
then they
Yeah, and
stopped.
then it
Right.
was done.
And it's done. Like no, because no one cared.
I guess, but you know
Let's be
what though?
fair here.
I do like factions because I factions give everybody a chance to get on TV.
To a degree. But my problem with factions is when you have too many AEW, it
Sure.
convolutes everything, and it really murks it up too. Because when you have factions, you need to have those factions fight, and you're not
Sure.
having one person face off against six people.
Right.
And if you do the factions, it kind of limits you. Too many factions, it limits you what you can do with your story. Because X faction hates X faction for whatever reason,
Right.
other factions involved with it. It just it muddies the story up.
Sure, it could.
LWO doesn't make sense now. Just let it die. Um, there's no continuity with the story. Nobody cares. Everybody loves Ray. Everybody likes Selena Vega. But like the rest of the people there too are just generic luchador number 3.
Right.
Like,
Right.
in
Right.
all
Right.
fairness.
No, you're not
Or at
wrong.
least that's how they're booked.
Right. You're not wrong.
And I like Ray, and I like Penta. I think Penta, they've done a absolutely fantastic job of protecting him, building him up in front of an audience that's not AEW on American TV. The hand-picked opponents for him are going to make you think of anybody that wants to jump from AEW or TNA or New Japan or any other company and say, look, this is how we bring in new talents. We protect them. We give them good storylines. We build them up. We get them over.
Right.
Like how they've handled Penta since he's been there has been borderline fantastic.
I just wonder when it's going to
Borderline.
end.
Mm. As long as he stays over, he got a good pop tonight.
Right.
And you've got guys that he can consistently work with now. You got Pete Dunne he can work with. You've got Kaiser who can bump off of him.
Right.
And that'll set you up for months. You're
Right.
good there. We'll see what they do when his brother gets there.
And then you got Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, Santos
You got
Escobar.
Gable, right? You've got people, enough people that can bump for him
Right.
and can work for him, and not overexpose him, and work his style. Like asking him to work um like a CM Punk is a mistake. Asking him to work a bigger guy right now, like Braun Strowman, for example, is a mistake. They're having him work with guys that are his size, that are really good sellers and can bump like fucking crazy for him, and it works. Um, Again, the men's rumble, there's nothing wrong with the rumble.
Mm-mm.
I didn't like I didn't like that Jay went over, and it's
Well, hold
nothing
on.
against Jay.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet
Okay,
because
okay.
we still got the hilarity of
Mhm.
I Show Speed.
Props to him. Um,
My man
he got
died,
murdered on live TV. Yeah, he got murdered on live TV, and he took it and didn't complain about it.
and it was
That got
fucking
non-worker.
incredible.
That got that got honest to God got stiffed and worked it, and that was so good. Like it made Braun look even more like $1,000,000. Um, and just him taking that
Oh my god,
was incredible.
it was
And
so
Braun
good.
protected him too,
Yeah,
but it looked fantastic.
right,
Braun protected him, most definitely protected him. Like you could see how he took the bump. It was a good flat back bump,
right.
but Braun made it look like $1,000,000.
Oh,
Made
it
it
was
look
so
like he
good.
died.
It was so good. It was so good.
Um,
And you got Fatu that came in, and I mean he just fucking dominated
yeah,
for.
Jacob's over. I
He's
think
so
Jacob is
over.
benefiting. Yeah, Jacob's benefiting right now with Solo being away.
Right.
Um, and you're seeing him come out, that personality come out. Like I think it's weird to me because if Vince is gone a year earlier, I'm wondering if Solo is even that guy.
I
If it's Jacob
right.
that's that
It's
guy.
probably Jacob that's got. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Makes all the sense in the world.
Because because Jacob's got that aura about him. Always
Right.
has. Um, but Vince was always afraid because of his criminal past to bring it up.
Right.
So bring him in. Um, but like over, like super over, can promo, his work is good. Definitely has great charisma. And I wouldn't even say that Solo's a bad worker per
No,
se, but
Solo's
like
fine.
Jacob's definitely number two in the family when it comes to that. Like he's the second best worker in the family after Roman. Let's be fair.
Nah, yeah, he's really good.
Um,
But that
no,
but
Jacob's great. Love
that
what they're doing with him.
that would take us to basically our only real surprise of the Royal Rumble,
Hmm.
the men's Royal Rumble, that is, which was
Hmm.
Joe Hendry. We all said his name,
Big pop.
and he appeared.
Big pop. Probably the second biggest pop of the night
Oh
was
my
Joe
god,
Henry.
so
But
good.
it was almost like they had to
Yeah,
with the new relationship because they
yeah.
didn't do anything with the women. There was
No.
no, no TNA women there.
Also, but
I
but
mean,
I mean, they, every other sentence talked about TNA for like the first hour of the show. It felt like, including the pre-show.
correct, but yeah, and then they had nobody there from it
Right.
other than
Besides
telling
Jordan
them they signed Jordan
Grace
Grace,
and no.
which they signed Jordan Grace.
Right. Right.
Like no Tessa Blanchard. I just imagine how she would have went over in that locker room. They would
Let
have killed her.
I why
They would
I
have stiffed
I
the shit
must
out of
I
her.
must have just completely missed Kaiser because he was only in there for 6 seconds, and I don't remember a quick elimination. I must have just been pissed or
Uh,
something and missed it.
I don't know what he did to piss everybody off. Like he's been jobbing for everybody. Like he's a good solid hand. Like he's a good mid card guy right now, but it seems like he is just jobbing for everybody right now. And it's time to
Speaking
give him his own theme. And
speaking,
I've said this for months.
I think
If
he's
you're
done.
not going to incorporate him and Gunther into the same thing,
Then
then you don't need to have the music together,
I
the
don't
same
think
music.
I don't think they know what to do with him.
That's part of it too. I think it was his what was his partner's name? I can't think of it. My brain's farting right
Giovanni.
now. Yeah, Vinci.
Yeah.
Um, I think Vinci getting himself in trouble backstage killed that.
Yeah, I don't know anything
He
about
uh
him getting himself in trouble.
he
In any of
supposedly
these,
said
and yeah, this is all allegedly.
right, it's all alleged. He supposedly said something to someone that pissed them off, and
Yeah,
that's why he's not on TV. Um, but I just don't know what you do with Kaiser, and he's a good hand.
sure.
Like he's another guy like Chad Gable. You could put him in there with anybody. I mean, they had him work Penta tonight. You could put him in there with anybody. He's a good hand. He gets good heat. He's a great heel. Great heel. Great little heel. Not a main event guy yet. I mean, I could see him maybe in 5 years or so, maybe put on a little bit more size. But he can get himself over. He's a safe worker. Um, he can work with anybody. Um, I don't get how that guy doesn't have more cachet in the back there,
Right.
especially in this day and age. But it just seems like they're cold on him, and I don't get it. Like they're still gonna put him on TV, and he's gonna make everybody look like $1 million. Like everybody says it's the Dolph Ziggler job. I think he's the Dolph Ziggler right now because they don't know what to do with him.
I could see that. I could see that.
And the only reason why they're keeping him there is because he's with Tiffany in real life.
So after Joe
So
Hendry, we all had to
yes,
acknowledge Roman Reigns,
yes. And Roman's so over.
and then
He
he proceeded
he
to
can
throw Joe Hendry out of the Royal Rumble
well,
and immediately be a
and
douchebag.
that's the only way you could probably get rid of Joe without getting a huge heel heat with it too.
Man,
Um,
I just wish, to be honest, I just wish it was longer than 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Like,
he'll get some time. It's not his last Rumble. He's going to
well,
sign a contract
I'm
with them
sure. Yeah, I'm
eventually.
sure he's gonna
Yes.
sign, but it's still like, man, I wish he could have got a little bit more time, give that TNA a little bit more shine, and then after Roman Reigns, you get Drew McIntyre, who you were talking about, pissed off. Rumor
Yes.
has it he's very angry at somebody, but nobody knows who. Except for Dave Meltzer, but he
Um,
does not feel comfortable. He does not feel comfortable. Uh,
what's the word? What's the saying?
I think
Fuck
they're
Dave Meltzer.
What was that?
Yeah. Said, what's the saying? Fuck Dave
Yeah,
Meltzer.
right, basically.
Yeah.
Long and short of it is, I don't know if I buy it, and if it is
He's
true,
he's
if it
he's
is,
working. He's
if it
working
is something, it's
whoever
probably.
it is going to be his opponent at Mania.
I heard L.A. Knight, that made absolutely no sense. I heard Jake Paul, that
No.
made, or Logan Paul, that made a little bit of sense. Uh, I heard Damian Priest. I don't know why. Maybe because the
I've
spot got
heard
rushed a
Priest
little bit.
here.
Um, it wasn't like I heard somebody try to explain why it was LA Knight's fault for him being in that situation, and I guess it was something about like, he should have known that he should have got there and stopped Logan Paul because Logan's a. But like, if anybody was selling themselves over selling the Rumble, I thought that would be Logan Paul. But also
Yeah.
I don't think he did that. I didn't think he did that at all. So like, I think he was
But
just
you have
selling
to
his spot.
understand it's Drew's character,
Right.
and he perceives things that are a slight against him. And I think they're just working people to set up opponents. That could be me. I mean, there's
Well, I guess the rumor
the way
has it
they
now
have
it's
them.
going to be a waste match with him and Damian Priest at WrestleMania.
Got to do something with them both.
I don't
Like
know.
they're not both of them are not in the title picture. Like it's so weird to me how
How Drew McIntyre can't be
how
why we can't make Drew McIntyre a champion for in
no
front of people.
how cold they've gotten on Priest.
I
I
don't
mean,
think it's
this
cold
time
on
last year,
Priest.
there's money. I think a little bit. I think after the Judgment Day
I
stuff was, he's kind of been
I
floating
think
around, wait,
I think Damian
no
Priest is
direction,
just kind of like a really good like pick for a transitional champion. Like
and
Damian
that's fine.
Priest has never God, and I don't mean I love I I love Damian Priest. I enjoy him. I enjoy I there's been very few times where I was like, um I don't I don't that's what it was. He was a transitional champion in my opinion. I could
That's fine. But what have they done with him since he dropped the belt, other than a handful of
matches. I mean,
matches
they had his blow
with
off with
Judgment Day?
Judgment Day. So let's see. I mean, I mean, they might be able to turn the Drew McIntyre. If it's Drew McIntyre, they might be able to turn it into a banger and put something real, like have something, I don't know, on the line for it of some sort. Like have a nice little blow off match for there and make it into something big. But I don't know. I don't know. I
Don't
think
hate it, but again, like it just seems like I like Priest, and they were so hot with him last year, and they booked him so well last year
they did.
with the briefcase. Obviously, that was a big part of it, and they made him look so strong. Then he transitional champs, which was fine, but then what have they done since? It seems like a bunch of Raw matches with Finn, who's just a guy staring at the ceiling 90% of the time now. Um, some matches with Dom, which Dom doesn't need to win to be over.
Right. He's
Um,
just over.
it just seems like if you there's nothing really going on other than him pinning a bunch of Judgment Day guys. Like it's I understand where they're at, but like now that Judgment Day stuff for the most part's done, like they spent I think they spent too long with the Judgment Day with him. It didn't give him really any direction other than I hate the Judgment Day because they stabbed me in the back.
Right. And then they moved him to another story. I'm sure they got.
But
I'm sure they'll get it figured out. Like, and it might not even.
sure,
And like we're probably like before it's all said and done, we're probably being worked, and there's going to be 47 different changes that they're going to take, and nothing that I
right,
think is going to happen is actually going to fucking happen.
right.
But then you know you got you got Jey Uso. Oh, I did forget a surprise. After your eventual winner of Jey Uso, a surprise was AJ Styles, and he got his theme back.
Yeah,
And he got
yes,
his
it's
theme back.
awesome.
Thank God he got his theme back. Like
Yep.
everybody gets really down on what the hell is the name of the people that do the music now for them?
XFO or cat, whatever
No,
it is, something like that.
CFO. No, they broke up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, I liked AJ's theme. You know me, and I've said this to you in the past. I wish Drew would bring back Shattered Dreams.
Right.
Or no, Broken Dreams.
Def Rebel. Def Rebel is the name of the group that
Okay.
does all of, and they get such a bad rap online, and I think it is
Yeah.
so unfair. They've had so many bangers. Yeah, I get it. They like the little intro and like the couple words
Yeah.
and then boom. Then whatever, but like they have some bangers and like they all grow on you. Like you might not like
Yeah,
them
and it's
originally, but like
and
LA,
it's
LA
everybody
Knight's
likes
theme's
the
a
old theme.
banger. Right,
Everybody likes the old theme. So, like
right.
Broken Dreams, like honestly, like I don't understand why they haven't for Drew because that fits his character now more than ever.
Right.
Um, and they're still doing the stupid generic Scottish theme, which
Right.
I don't get.
I like his theme.
Yeah,
I wish they
it's
would use
fine, but
Broken
the old one's
Dreams. I
better.
don't want it to be. I don't want him to go back
Yes,
to being that being his full time theme. I would like for him to use it. I would like for him to use it.
sure,
Just
but
like
it
I
fits
would
him
like to have
better
John
now.
Cena at some point in time come out to basic Thugonomics. Like I would like for that
Well,
to happen.
maybe he does for his last match. Maybe that's what John does with his last match. Yeah. So, um, my thing with Broken Dreams is like it's a great heel theme. If Drew's going to be a heel, let him use Broken Dreams. You could use the generic Scottish music if he's a face. It works as a face. Um, but Broken Dreams is a better heel theme,
Right.
most definitely, and it fits his personality right now.
Right.
Especially the whole punk thing too. Like a glove fits right now for him. Um, didn't hate that. Drew's involvement in the match was good. Him leaving and throwing a fit in the back fits.
Right. I mean, he
The
did that.
whole
He quote unquote did that when CM Punk returned at Survivor
yes,
Series and stormed out. So
yes,
I'm sure we're
right.
being worked about
So
something.
yeah, the whole Seth and Punk and Roman thing was excellent. How
Right.
they played that out. That it's setting up Seth and Roman for Mania. Um, Still don't know what you do with Punk. Is it a triple threat? Do you do something else with Punk? Is he the champion? Is he doing like what do you do with Punk here?
So I don't
I
think
think it's got
it's
to be Seth and Roman. They've been
no.
slow burning Seth and Roman for
I
quite
bet.
a while.
I thought The Rock was gonna get involved, but I think it's gonna just be a triple threat.
And
I
that's
think
that's perfectly fine as long as it's the main event of WrestleMania. I
yeah.
think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think that'll be.
But
I don't see Roman getting back in the title picture, maybe ever again.
I think you're right. I think Punk Brock's not going to be involved. I
Yeah, and
think it was clearly
I would
in
assume that
Punk and Rollins if
we'll
Rock's involved.
yeah we'll have to figure. You have to figure that. You know, I'm confusing myself over here.
So let's get to the end here because I did want to talk about that
Yes,
of the
no,
Rumble.
yes. So then you got your eventual winner, Jey Uso. AJ Styles, a surprise comes out. Braun Strowman comes out, and I mean,
Yeah.
fucking ragdolled. Just absolutely ragdolled Jacob Fatu out of the ring. Right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was Fatu. Yeah.
I mean, they
Which
set that up too
was
because they've worked a couple matches.
incredible. Right.
Yeah.
And well, and the last time we saw them, Jacob Fatu destroyed Braun Strowman. So Braun
Right.
Strowman came
I mean,
back and got his
you're set.
and like literally tossed him out of the ring like he was Rey Mysterio. Like
Yeah.
it
And
was
here's
fucking
my thing with it
incredible.
too. I don't know if that's a Mania match, but that easily could be a Elimination Chamber match or a Saturday Night's main event match.
Sure, yeah, no, I
And,
don't think that's a WrestleMania match. No, I don't think that's a
but I
WrestleMania
think
match.
it's one of the two of those, and it fills a spot. So there's another. Is there another Saturday Night's main event before Mania? I think
That's a
there
good
is.
quarterly. Let's see.
Yeah, I think there might be one more.
Well,
But if they do it, that's a great option for the middle of that card. But again,
they don't
and I know I hate
seem
to
to
beat the
have
horse
one.
here too. I
Okay.
hate the ending of that match. Let's talk about that now.
Hold on.
I I I I'm not sold on Jay. I'm not.
That's okay.
I know he's a big merch seller. I know he gets a huge crowd reaction, and we kind of alluded to this when we were talking a little bit about this
There,
earlier.
really quick, there hasn't been another Saturday night main event announced yet. They
Okay,
are going to do
okay.
it
There's
quarterly.
going to be, yeah. Okay. Um, Jay's over because of his song and his entrance. He's over because
Uh,
of his song and entrance. Just like
well,
just
okay,
like
but
Punk, you saw Punk was over
yeah,
because of the song.
I think
Like
Punk's over
Rollins
because
is
of the
over
song.
because of the song.
No, I disagree. I disagree with Rollins being over because. Well, maybe Rollins is over because of the song too.
Moreover, like he's good with that crowd, but he's more over because of the song. You take that song away, he's a full blooded heel, and he gets a boo reaction.
But
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 he's
he's still
yeah, he's
over.
over because of
But
the
he's still over.
right. But he's more over because of the song. But
So I
Jay
don't
is
want to.
definitely
So
over
we're not.
because
We're
of
not. We're not saying really quick that the only reason why CM Punk or the only reason why Seth Rollins is getting a pop in general is because of their song. What I am saying is the only reason why they get a face pop in a reaction is because of their songs. That's kind of what
sure.
I'm getting at. Like Punk's gonna turn heel and he's gonna be the biggest fucking heel in the whole wide fucking world. Seth Rollins could turn heel tomorrow and be the biggest fucking heel in the whole wide fucking world tomorrow and be way fucking over with it. Um,
Jay Uso could, and that's the difference. So, if you turn Jay, if you took the song away from Jay and turned him heel, it wouldn't work. Like no one buys him as a credible heel on that. And here's my thing with Jay. I know he sells merch. I know he's over with the theme. That's not lost on me. But he doesn't need to be the guy. And now you're going to have him main event of WrestleMania
and probably
as a
win.
single and probably win. So now you're going to put your one of your two world titles on him.
I bet you care. I bet you care come WrestleMania. I'm gonna put this on the line. I bet you care come WrestleMania. I bet you care, and I bet you go ape shit. And if we're not at WrestleMania, we should live react WrestleMania.
Um,
And I
I
bet
just
you,
I don't buy it.
I bet you care by
So
WrestleMania.
here's my thing. My biggest issue with Jay is his work. From the time he's on a mic, walking to the ring, and getting into the ring before that bell rings, he's a main event guy. He's a main event guy. Once that bell rings, he's not. Not as a single.
Um, but
His
Hulk
he's
Hogan?
got a little bit of what's that?
Was Hulk Hogan? Like ring work doesn't matter.
Mm, yes, because Hogan had the in-ring charisma, and we're also talking about a 40-year difference. It's a much
Okay,
different business than it
no,
was
it's
then,
not. No, it's not. If you're over with the crowd, you're
to a
going to
degree.
make. If you're over with the crowd, you're going to make the most money.
Except Hogan did it through smoke and mirrors for 20 years, and there's a big difference. The crowd is a lot more
Do,
fickle now
do,
than they were
do
40
I
years
think
ago.
Jay Uso's going to have a run like Hulk Hogan? Absolutely not. And I think
No,
before
but
everything winds down, Jay Uso will end up back with Jimmy and probably another bloodline and all of that good.
here's
I
here's
just
my thing with this here. And let me flesh this out a little bit here too, and I want your opinion on this because my thing with Jay Uso is this: he's got a little bit of the young buck syndrome in him, and what I mean by that is he works a specific type of match. He can't deviate from what he works. Like Hogan, for all his faults,
but why not? Why?
and
But
you
no, but
go watch some of Hogan's Japan shit. The man could work if he wanted to work.
you don't get paid by doing shit you can't do.
But he can only work a certain match,
But
and
you,
he
but
only works with guys that can
but they're
fit
good
into that
matches.
molded match.
They're
Like,
good
go
matches.
go go back and watch his match with Jimmy last year
They were
at
both hurt.
WrestleMania. It
They
was
were
the
both hurt.
absolute
Yeah,
shit.
it was terrible. Jimmy was also hurt. It wasn't a good match, and they all know that, and we all
And
know
it
that.
and it,
But
Jimmy
also
isn't hurt.
that happens. That happens.
Sure.
I'm
And
not
if
gonna
Jimmy's not
paintbrush
hurt,
because of a
is that
bad match. They all have a bad match from time to time. It just sucked to happen there against his brother. And
it's it it was the same style. And that's what doesn't work. And my thing with it too is if Jimmy was healthy, is that match any different? Probably
I don't know.
not.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see it again.
That match works with Roman because Roman can control the pace of the match and let shit breathe. They don't.
Are you saying that
That match works
Are you
with
saying that Jey Uso suffers from what you would say John Cena suffered from? Where they do a really their style, they're best suited for a style of match where they get the shit kicked out of them.
um
And
yeah. I think and I'll
and
give Jay credit here too. Jay's a top 5 seller in the business right now.
right,
Jay can take a good ass kicking. And he can. I mean, you look at him, look at the him and shit with him and Roman
right,
was excellent. Why? Because he can take an ass kicking and Roman can pace the match and
right.
make it look good and fit into Jay's style. What accentuate his strengths is what I'm saying.
Sure.
You put a belt on him, like you. Gunther's a perfect example right now. Gunther can work anybody.
Right,
He's a great hand.
right.
He's a good
He's better
promo.
than that.
He can. He's great promo.
Right,
He and he can work with anybody, any style. He can mold the match and make it work with pretty much
right.
anybody. CM Punk, same way. You look at the match tonight. I don't know who laid that match out,
It was a
but
great
whoever
match.
did tonight, that match with
Great
Sammy,
match.
the ending, the finish of it too, whoever laid that out, whether it was him, Sammy, a producer, whoever, was great. Could you see Jimmy or Jey Uso doing that match? No.
No.
No. So you're gonna be limited with a guy that you're now pushing as your world champion on your flagship show. And no, Jay wouldn't have that belt for long.
No, I don't think
But
it would. But
now,
he's not.
but they
No.
just did the same thing last summer with the IC title with him.
It's okay.
If you're trying to tell me that you're building him as a credible face, how does that work?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't disagree with you. I don't.
And I think it's wrong timing. And the other thing too with it is if you're going by merch sales, and that's what I gather for what you're trying to give me here too. Look at what LA Knight did. Who was the most? Me and you went to SummerSlam in 2023 in Detroit. Who was
LA
the most
Knight
over
fin-
guy at SummerSlam?
LA Knight finished ninth though. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying LA Knight ninth finished ninth. I think.
LA Knight was more over. LA Knight's a better worker.
I mean, Jey
LA
Uso.
Knight's a guy that can work with anybody.
You got Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Jey Uso. He beats John Cena.
Right
I
now,
like. I
well,
mean,
John was also away,
yeah,
but
sure,
yes,
sure. Um,
and so was
but LA,
Punk
Punk wasn't away.
for a good chunk of the year. For a good chunk of the year, he was away, but yes.
I'm sure Jey Uso missed almost as much time. I don't know if that's true or not.
Right. But
I no,
my point of it too is
I'm not going to discredit his merch. He sold the fourth most merch, and he did
I
it
I'm
because he's super
I'm
fucking
not gonna
over.
discredit his merch, but it's not time yet. You want to
I
give him the IC title or the US title and let him run with it for a while
well,
and actually give him a proper
he's
run.
been around for 15 years.
Most of it is a tag.
I know,
And
but
I
I mean
get it.
he's been
Tag
around for
guys can
15
be
years.
singles.
I,
I mean, Shawn Michaels was a
I
tag
mean,
guy for 10 plus fucking years.
first off, let's be honest. It is this belt right here. It is basically that belt. It's the world championship.
Yeah,
It's not it's the second
it's a
level.
second title.
It's the second title, regardless of how you want to cut it. I like the fact that the Royal Rumble winner is going to choose that because I feel like that gives it more like I want your title. I want to beat you. So it'll make it more important. I thought that's what they should have done with the Royal Rumble last year. Turns out, even if CM Punk was able to win the Royal Rumble, he would not
Yeah,
have been able to be at WrestleMania anyways.
right.
Which always makes
So
me
my
wonder,
point,
like where in last year's Royal Rumble are we being worked? Was CM Punk supposed to win it and said, "Hey, I have a hole in my tricep, or whatever it was. I'm not going to be able to do this."
that audible, I think so. So I think Cody was the safe. I think they were going to be the last two either way,
Right.
and I think Cody obviously was going to still complete the story. They
Yeah,
would
I
have
think
made
so.
him work a little bit harder for it, but I think that was always the case. Again, my problem with Jay isn't necessarily I don't not like Jay. It's
Right.
just he's not there. He's not at that level yet. He's not a Cody chasing the title for over a year.
Right.
He's not a Gunther level heel that makes sense to leave the title on and have faces chase. Like he's gonna hold it for a month or two and then drop it.
Right.
And what do you get out of that?
Right. No, I agree.
And that's my problem. Or you have him lose, and that's even worse for him because now he can't win the big one, and when he does, he can't hold the title for a long period of time, and that ruins a little bit of his credibility.
But doesn't matter. I guess my point is does it matter? Like he can hold the title for a while because it's still just a
If you're
second title.
if it does for him as a main eventer,
Right.
are you trying to? The goal obviously is you want to elevate as many people as you can at that main event level,
Right.
at least to be able to work with main event guys. As
Right.
a fan, if he goes in and loses to Gunther at Mania, what is that? And because again, go back and watch that Saturday Night main event match between him and Gunther.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly the most entertaining match.
Right.
It was kind of oil and water, and now you're running that back.
Right.
Like, I hope in a couple months you can get more out of it at Mania, and maybe this is a test for Jay to make that jump. And I couldn't tell you a guy that would be a better fit to help him make that jump than Gunther, because Gunther will make him look like $1,000,000.
So, oh, for
But
sure.
the problem I see is after Mania. Like, what do you do with him afterwards?
Well,
Because you're going to have people
yeah.
help him structure matches and make him look good.
And we'll see where it goes. Like, and who knows? He might not even. I think there's no other choice. They've worked themselves in, like, with everything that Gunther has said about Jay. I think Jey Uso has to win that match. He probably loses the belt to Gunther at SummerSlam, and Gunther carries it forever again. Like, but I think because I think Gunther should hold, but like he's gonna have the belt for a year. That's a long
He
title
already
run.
had it for a year,
Did he have it at
almost.
WrestleMania?
He won it at what, Mania? At SummerSlam, right?
This past SummerSlam?
Was that when he won it? SummerSlam? From Rollins?
He won it. No, he won it at WrestleMania, didn't he?
No. Mania was... No, he won it from Priest at SummerSlam. Priest won it at Mania after cashing in.
You're right. He did win it when we were there. We were there.
Yeah, we were there. I was there. But no, he's had it for a while. I don't have a problem with Gunther dropping it either, if that's their plan. But my point is, like, it's not the guy to drop it to.
Right.
It's not, because now you have to handpick opponents to make Jay look good and elevate him. And I don't know if Jay's ever going to be that guy, because, I mean, like you said, he's been around for 15 years. Like, is he ever going to be the guy that can work those matches. Like, and that's why I said he's got Young Buck syndrome.
Yeah,
Like Young Bucks, they have a
the
certain
title
match
on.
they can work,
He
and they're
won
the best in the Young Bucks, the best in the world about working that match.
that one match.
But you go to put them on a match with like an Usos, for example,
I could
or
see it.
but like you understand what I'm saying. Like have them work the War Raiders. It doesn't work.
Right.
That's not the match they can work.
So
Same thing with Jay.
overall, what would you give?
I'd say about
The
a
Royal Rumble.
7.5 out of 10. I'd say 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Like I said, there's a lot of it I liked. I think it would be probably an 8.5 if he didn't convolute the tag match. Made no sense to me. I mean, it hurt only having 4 matches.
Well,
I think if you had more matches, I think it.
2 of your matches are going to be over an hour.
Right.
You can't. You can't.
I mean, the highlights obviously was the Cody and Kevin Owens match was excellent.
I show speed. Dying.
Yeah, Jesse Speed dying. Charlotte winning the Rumble makes sense. You know, you lose points from again the convoluted tag ending of the tag match, which made you shouldn't have to go that route, and having Jay win.
Right.
Like you could have had. There's a lot of guys you could have had win, and you could have even played it out through Elimination Chamber.
Right.
Especially if you're going to transition one, like if you're going to transition Gunther's title away, you could have had the Rumble winner win, challenge someone, Gunther flip the title to a baby face,
right,
and have a heel win it at Mania, and then Gunther move on to whatever you're going to do. It's just, again, it could have had elevated another guy that was ready, and LA Knight's a perfect example of that.
Sure.
You can't tell me LA Knight's not ready to move up.
Yeah, I don't know. I like LA Knight, but he's less believable to me than Jey Uso for some reason. I don't know. I like LA. I mean, LA
let me ask you a question here too.
I can't see him.
If Jey Uso wasn't related to The Rock, would we be having this conversation?
I mean, that's not fair though.
It's not, but it's true.
It's not like he's a nepo kid. Like he put his hard fucking work in.
No, I mean he's got merit. I'm not saying that completely. But are we putting him in this situation if he wasn't related to The Rock though?
But like if would The Rock be The Rock if it wasn't for his father? For the whole Samoan lineage and his father to add on to that. Would The Rock ever have been a pro wrestler?
But here's my thing with it too. Like Jey Uso, the only difference between Jey Uso and LA Knight is Jey Uso's family. They're both over. They both sell a shit ton of merch. They both have been at a main event style. They've both worked a billion years to get to this point. They're both ready to go up to the next level. The big difference is one is tied into an executive in the company. I'm not saying he's a full nepo baby. I'm not saying that he's
the direction we were going before he was on the board. Jey Uso's always
was it
been.
Though?
Yeah, Jey Uso's always been the guy. Always been the guy. Always been the guy. Even back before Jey Uso's always been the guy. He had his time with Roman where him and those two had the feud. Then they brought Jimmy in. Jey Uso's always been the guy to be.
Before when he did that, it was pandemic era.
It might be Jacob.
And it wasn't a major 4 pay-per-view with Roman.
Sure,
and that was the issue. It was still Roman.
But really quick, because we're getting close to an hour and a half, so I want to kind of wrap it up here a little bit. I want to get into Raw tonight.
Okay.
Jey Uso cut a great promo to start the show.
Mm-hmm.
He cried.
Missed it.
And he cried in the promo, and you could tell he was
Okay.
working for the tears, but he cried during the promo. It was a good promo. Gunther comes out and says, basically along the lines of, "You winning the Royal Rumble and facing me at WrestleMania does nothing for me. Does absolutely nothing for me. So if you do happen to choose me, I'm going to get something out of it, and I'm going to make your life basically a living hell until then, and then I'm going to destroy you." So, duh. And he's not going to wrestle Cody Rhodes. That just doesn't make one ounce of
No,
sense. That's going to be
no, and he's not
drastically.
wrestling. He's not wrestling for the NXT
No.
title either.
Right.
No,
Then
no.
great promo, great back and forth. I highly recommend going back and
Look,
watching. It was really good.
look. I'm not going to argue. Jay's a top 5 promo guy for that company right now. I'm not arguing that. Again, it's to me, it's between when the bell rings. It's
Also,
always in until he proves me otherwise. That's the issue.
unless if I missed it, you'll be happy to know this. Unless if I missed it, I did not see inside the arena one time the drone camera where they go through the crowd and all
Yeah,
that. I didn't see that one time.
yeah.
I didn't see that one time.
Maybe there's regulations at Rocket Mortgage
They
Fieldhouse
had
about
no, I
drones.
no. They have drones in there all the time. They drop shit from drones. They had the drone outside the arena, and I thought maybe they were gonna do that, like where they were above the arena, and they were gonna fly in and do it that way, which I thought would have been really cool. But no, they did not give us a drone this week. It was a full arena. There was roughly 14,000 in it. They opened up
Yeah,
all the sections. I completely forgot, or I would have been all about it buying one of those $30 tickets, and where I wanted to
yeah.
just on that last open section and try to spread out like we did it the last time we went. That was amazing.
Just
That was
having no knowing
th-
kids screaming in our
that
ears,
was
but
probably,
yes,
honest to God, that was probably the most comfortable, the most fun, and the most like just much I enjoyed actually being at a wrestling event was that night, and it was and it kind of changed the way I wanted to do it forever. Like I just want to wait till the last minute, get those tickets. If I'm not sitting in the front row, who cares if I'm sitting in the last row? I just want to be comfortable in there watching it, or in a suite.
depends. So I like the SummerSlam we went to in Vegas.
Sure.
I thought the tickets were good enough, and
Right.
the Legion's comfortable no matter where
Mm-hmm.
you sit. You got some space there, and they do a good job with that.
Our seats for the Bullet Club are better,
True,
which I hope you're
but
safe.
even then, like even the tickets for SummerSlam weren't awful. Um, and that was the best seats we probably had at SummerSlam
This past one,
of the 4 we've gone to. No, the last one maybe. Last one
the,
maybe. It's a
so
toss up between that and Vegas.
the Nashville was annoying, so we went and watched it standing up
Right.
because that was
Which
just
it was that was such a great layout for it
right,
though. Like I thought that the Nissan Stadium was a shithole,
right.
but in that circumstance, how it opened up and laid out for that,
Yeah, it was really nice.
and that was a really good look, especially with Brock and the forklift
Yeah,
and
it
all
was
that
really
shit with
good.
it.
Ford Field, we
Um,
had some good seats for, pretty decent seats for, right? Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah, decent.
but yeah, this past year we didn't have to travel, so we sprung for a little bit more expensive tickets. A little bit more
Yes,
expensive. Like, see, and that's me. Like if I'm not rich. If I was rich, maybe I'd do it differently. But like, I'm not rich. Like, if I want to go, I want to go. I just want to go. Like, there's a
yeah,
big TV up there I could watch on. I just want to
same.
be there for the experience, the atmosphere, and be
Yeah,
there. Um, yeah, where I sit, if it's not in the front row, it could be the last row. I really don't care. As long as I'm not being annoyed by people around me, that's the number one. You
yes.
always get the
So
stinky
like,
person, like, oh my God, at Ford Field.
yeah, I'm 6'3", 270 pounds with a bad back. As long as I can have enough room to spread out a little bit, and I don't feel like I'm having someone scream in my ears,
Bro,
I'm okay.
you remember that dude at Ford Field that was sitting in front of us?
No,
Oh my God, he
I
smelled so
remember
bad. He smelled
the only thing I
so bad.
remember that night about that night. That was the night that Jose Ramirez and Tim Anderson got into that
Got into
fist fight.
got into the fight.
Like that's the only thing. Like, and I remember, like, I don't remember anybody around me. I remember trying to show you that, and you're like blowing me off for like 20 minutes
Right.
with it too.
In the stands trying to disastrous. You know, we'll actually have to come back and do like a recap of all the fun that we have had on our SummerSlam adventures, which unfortunately are probably going to end up coming to an end. So we're going to have to
Yeah.
figure out something else to do. I was really
What's
hoping that
SummerSlam this year? Where are they at?
I think SummerSlam this year's overseas. Uh,
I don't think so. I want to say. I want to say it's. Is it overseas?
I
I don't
think
think
so.
so. I want to say it's a big stadium.
Oh no, it's at MetLife. Is it 2 nights? Maybe that's what it was. Did they switch it to 2 nights?
Lord, no,
Oh,
no.
I'd do
Yeah,
I'd do MetLife again.
I'm good. I would rather stay out of New York if I possibly could.
Oh, you don't go through New
Well,
York.
New Jersey.
It's really
Well,
it's
New
really
Jersey.
not that bad. I've done it. I stayed at a Red Roof Inn right down the road from East Rutherford from MetLife. It was like a 2 minute drive. We did go into New York City just because I wanted to go do a tourist thing and go see New York City. And we also had Hall of Fame tickets, so we went and saw the Hall of Fame. But which was the most boring night of my life. But yeah, man, I mean, fuck no, that was easy. That was easy. That was nice. But yeah, you don't have to go through New York City to get there or to do anything with
I
anything.
know. Well, like I have no desire to go in that traffic. You know me. I don't do traffic well. That's why I never see me in LA. That's why you'll never see me in New York City. Florida was bad enough. I wanted to murder people in Florida driving from Orlando to
Yeah.
Tampa. Like, I'm good.
But yeah, we go to Vegas.
Maybe. I
Have
mean,
you?
hell, shit. Let's hope. Let's hope XRP picks up in the next month or so, and we'll hit Vegas up.
Oh, I'm fine. We'll be fine. Some weird shit's going on, but it's gonna be cool. Not weird, like not weird in a bad way. Like
Yeah.
people are coming together and like Jack from X, who has been just
Formerly of X.
yeah the staunchest of Bitcoin maxis in the whole wide world, posted something on one of his accounts, and it was a Bitcoin guy, and he transformed into an XRP logo. Like things are happening, and yeah, things are happening. I'm almost like is it really possible that like the things that I heard about XRP might actually be true? Like it's always kind of been like I like the research and the like everything is there showing it. It's just waiting for it to fucking happen. But that's another time. That's another place. That's another whole fucking podcast. Raw tonight was
Yep.
phenomenal.
Yep.
We had the opening segment. We're gonna blow through this real quick. We had the opening segment with Jey Uso. It was phenomenal. Ludwig, we were talking about earlier, got beat by Penta relatively fast. And Pete Dunne uh, came out after they were interviewing Penta after the match, and
And that's 6 months. 6 months worth of work right there for Penta
right.
to handle. Good.
Then we had Charlotte Flair get booed out of Cleveland. When
It's
she
funny.
won,
She came out with it was so like quiet when she
yeah,
came out, and she worked the crowd to get her heel heat in, but which was fine. But I think this quote of the night was the New Day saying they want to get out of Cleveland just like Miles
oh
Garrett.
well, I don't get that, and fuck them. And Miles
Well,
Garrett,
they got their heat.
that's a whole nother
They
day.
got their cheap heat.
Uh,
They got their cheap heat.
that leads us to Charlotte coming back getting booed out, and it leads us to a backstage. Well, Rhea Ripley comes out and basically lays the foundation for their WrestleMania match to finish
Right.
their trilogy that they're each tied at one. Where Charlotte got the win in the first one, and then Rhea got the win at the what was last year, right? And then now go to here, and that leads us to a backstage segment with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, where Jey Uso look on his face like his dog just passed away because he kicked Sammy in the mouth, and Sammy for like a split second sold it and said, "Man, come on, what do you mean?" And gave him a big old hug. It's like, I'm so happy for you. Congratulations, you did it. You did it. You won. You won, and now you get to go WrestleMania, main event WrestleMania.
Sammy's doing such a good job blurring the lines there too, because you could see like his head thinking with it too, like he's about to lay Jay out too. It was well set up and well delivered by Sammy.
It was real good. Got the New Day versus LWO. For whatever reason, Logan Paul gets involved and sets up a match with Rey Mysterio, I guess.
They had to put him in Cleveland because it's from
Yeah, and
Cleveland, so they had to put him on
yeah, did
TV.
bring him home. That is true. It gave him a good spot there.
No Miz though, but we'll put Logan Paul on TV though.
Yeah, it's really
I guess I
weird
can't
they
play
did
all the
that.
greatest hits, right?
Right.
Or Gargano, no Gargano on TV tonight. Like none of the Cleveland guys except for Logan Paul.
Just Logan Paul, the only Cleveland guy that made it
Yeah.
today. I didn't even think about that. That's wild. Liv Morgan beat Io Sky in a elimination qualifying match.
Yeah, I said it before. I've said it to you a billion times. I hate Io Sky. I'm not a fan.
Right.
The worst member of Damage Control by far.
Yep.
Her timing is super weird. Like she doesn't seem like she has chemistry with anybody. And just seems like always off. So more than happy. And Liv's the top heel in the company right now as a woman.
And as you said, this will lead us to Seth Rollins, as you said, coming out in his best Michael P.S. Hayes outfit.
Doot.
And cuts a promo.
The cowboy hat was so weird. Weird. Right?
Puts over.
Like it still doesn't fit him at all.
I liked it. I thought it was different.
It was a good look. The glasses made it too, but like such not his look at all. It was very much Michael P.S. Hayes, minus the Confederate flag.
But Seth Rollins comes
maybe
out.
Maybe a little bit more chest hair too.
A little bit more Confederate flag. Like I said, I wish they'd bring it back so we could stop pretending to be offended by everything. But anyways,
or at least work it and actually make money off of it.
Right, you're right, man. That I started the McMahon documentary today, and he's like, it was just easy. We figured out who we had or international conflict with, and there's your heels. It was super easy.
Yep.
Well, so Seth Rollins comes to the ring and puts over Jey Uso's Royal Rumble victory, craps all over CM Punk, and makes fun of him for being eliminated by Logan Paul. A week or so after CM Punk bragged about never losing to Logan Paul.
I didn't hate the promo because it fits him too, but like again, you're kind of pushing him in Drew's direction with it too. With a guy he's kind of half feuding with. They're kind of pushing into the truthful heel portion of it too. Right. And like I said before, the only thing that's keeping Seth a face is the song. You take the song away as a heel.
Probably. And a good one at that. But so anyways,
he's always been a great heel.
He's going to call out. Yeah. He calls out Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn joins him and proceeds to give him a pep talk about going in there and beating the shit out of CM Punk, which leads to a banger of a main event.
Oh my God, yes. Really good. Probably the best main event I've seen on Raw in quite a while, and that beats the premiere with Punk and Rollins. I thought it was a better match than Punk and Rollins.
Yeah, it was a great back and forth. Wow, what a main event.
Sammy's so good.
He really is.
That's another guy you could have had win the Rumble. Would have been Sammy, and I would have bought that a lot more than Jay.
I don't think I would have bought it more than Jay, but I would have bought it about equally.
And he's over.
Right.
And it's not just a song why he's over either. He's been over.
A pretty incredible sequence with a couple missed GTSs leading to this, that,
false finishes.
Yeah, real good match. And I would love to actually give it more time, but I'm falling
asleep. No. And here's my only thing I'll say that, and we'll wrap up here too. My only small critique about that match is the Anaconda Vice being in for like a while before Sammy got the rope break.
Oh
Like he was in it for almost like a good minute. Like if you're trying to sell that as legit like submission, like how did that not break Sammy's arm?
right away. Right. I gotcha. Yeah, whatever.
Like or even
Stop being
yeah,
logical.
I mean
It's
again
pro
that's a
wrestling.
small gripe with it too, but it's also great to see him use the Anaconda Vice a little bit now too. Like so when's the last time you've seen him use it?
Right.
It's been
It's
a
been a
while.
while. It is. It is. But then, so CM Punk hits the GTS, gets the 1, 2, 3. Sammy gets up. CM Punk and Sammy meet in the center, share some words, give a handshake. CM Punk turns around, leaves the ring, and from the crowd jumps in Kevin Owens and attacks Sami Zayn. Gets a package pile driver for his troubles, and that pretty much eliminated in my mind. I could be wrong, and we'll look back at this, but that pretty much eliminated in my mind of an eventual Sami Zayn heel turn. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, it'll happen at some point, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon
Yeah.
before Mania, anything like that. I think
No,
I think
not
we're
before
pretty much
that.
set in stone.
After that.
I think we're going to get Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. That's a big match. It's a great place for it. It needs to happen. It should have happened, and it's a good time for it to happen because right now Kevin Owens is fucking riding high from a fantastic program
Yep.
with with Cody Rhodes. Sami Zayn is Sami Zayn, and he just got done teaming up with the Bloodline again and reuniting with them and taking down the OG Bloodline. I think right now that is a great time to have them two basically at the top of their games have that match at WrestleMania. What say
Yeah.
you, John?
And I like how Kevin is going through the motions of all the people that teamed with Roman
Right.
and not going after Roman.
Sure.
So like he started with Cody.
Right.
He's moved on to Sammy now.
Well, Randy Orton
Next I think would be
was in there too.
Randy Orton. He did Randy too.
Right.
He started with Randy. Then he did Cody. Now he's doing Sammy. Next up is Punk.
Uh,
And then he finally gets Roman.
I don't know if Punk's gonna stay a heel.
Our face, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I don't know how long I don't know how long we got for Punk to be a bad guy.
I think they blur him for a minute. Like the whole handshake today, because he stuck his hand out.
Right.
I mean,
Sure.
he's a cocky face, but he
Sure.
stuck his hand out.
Sure, that is true. That is true.
So
That is
that's,
true.
I mean, it is what it is.
Right. Right.
It is what it is. You have a chance in the future, but yes, it doesn't need to be now.
So
And you've got so much you can do after Mania as well to set up the next year.
absolutely. I'm excited. We are officially now on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, and it's you know it's funny because you only a handful of matches you know for certain
Right.
right now, and you're 2 months out,
Technically,
and
we still really don't know them for certain outside of like Jey Uso and Gunther. They're not going to go any other direction with them.
yeah,
And they're not going to go any other direction with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. It just doesn't make unless if Cody Rhodes is actually like legit hurt, then they might have to switch something up. Then maybe I could see John Cena possibly getting a 17th title run and maybe losing that belt to Cody Rhodes somewhere towards the end of the year, maybe at a SummerSlam or a Survivor Series or something like that. So Cody Rhodes gets that victory. But I don't think Cody Rhodes is really hurt, and I don't think we need to entertain that. I don't see John Cena getting his 17th title win, which
if they're gonna give Cena the title, assuming they do, and hypothetical here, he's got to make somebody with it. Cody didn't need it. It's like Brock beating the Taker at Mania. He didn't need it.
But see, I think Cody needs to win against John Cena. I do think Cody needs that. I don't think Roman Reigns has it. Like, I think that is needed for Cody Rhodes, for his legacy, for his time as he needs that win. John Cena's there.
It's
He needs that win
so
against John Cena.
it's so early for Cody though.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, John Cena decided to retire 4 years prior than we all thought he would.
It's so early for Cody, though. He doesn't need a career-defining win. He had it at Mania last year.
I still think he needs to win against John Cena. But
You can have
this
it as a
is,
non-title.
but man, this could be. We could debate
You can have
this
Cody
years.
retire him.
Sure, but I mean, so then John Cena beats him at Mania because
Maybe.
that match is happening, and I don't know
So
I don't know because there's so many other matches that need to. I don't see. I was really kind of bummed out when I found out that John Cena was leaving to go film a movie. I thought we were going to get like full time Cena for a year.
so here's my thing with it too. You can turn Cody after Mania.
Sure, I don't know if you
I
will.
mean, he already planted the seeds with it. You had him snapping on KO.
Right,
You had the promo with him and CM Punk.
right,
It's easy for you to turn Cody, and it makes sense too. It's even more makes sense than even Sammy right now. Like the pressure of him getting the title, getting it being the champ got to him. It's the
right,
same thing that happened to Punk. It's the same thing that happened to Roman. It's the same thing that happened to a lot of people.
right.
The pressure of the title got to him and turned him into one giant asshole. And
Right.
Cody could probably benefit for a turn. Like he's not. I don't think he's like he's been booked really horrible as champ.
Right. No, yeah, I agree.
So a way to kind of get around that is to make him a heel
Right.
and have him be a douchebag champion, or have him lose the belt and snap and turn heel, and have him chase and win it back.
Right. Yeah, I don't hate it. You want me back here and do it again Friday night after SmackDown?
Yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
Yeah, man, I'm in. Maybe I'll get Steven on it. Well, I'm sure I'll get Steven on
Maybe.
it on Friday. He'll have his whole setup. I'm probably gonna do one with him and Mark tomorrow because he has a setup. I did I tell you what I did? We me my old boss Mark and Steve, we did just like a general like we got to try to do this, so we're gonna do it type thing. And for whatever
Okay.
reason, my voice did not record on my recording of it. So I have like
Hopefully
40.
it did tonight.
Yeah, it did. Trust me, I've been looking the whole time. My mic is moving. On if my voice is not here tonight, I'm going to be pissed because my voice has been moving on the mic thing on my recording software the
And
whole time.
no one wants to just hear me talk. So
Right?
yes, I'll be
It's
pissed
so
too.
yeah, right. And it's so annoying, and it sucks too because like there's no like I like Discord doesn't I can't save it to Discord. Discord I can't save these on Discord. So like if it doesn't show up on here, like oh my god. So that's gonna be the first thing I do as soon as I sign off here is I'm gonna make sure that that works. So I'm gonna go ahead. Anyways, wait. Two guys, one pod, pro wrestling edition, episode finally number one.
And we'll switch it up too. It's not just going to be wrestling,
Oh no, we'll
obviously.
talk everything. We're gonna get
Baseball season's coming.
baseball season, basketball. We have a great basketball team. A lot of stuff going on. Will we get into more important things? Probably not, because me and John are likely to smack each other in the face if we get into more important things.
Oh, let's just we'll leave politics out of it because we will come to blows on
We will
politics.
never come to
So
blows in a million years. We will never come to blows in a million years. That will never, ever, ever happen. Unless we keep
we're too
fucking.
much. Adam will never admit this, but we're very similar personality types.
We neither one of us.
I'm just a little bit more cynical than he
Yeah, he's
is,
way more cynical than me. He's way more cynical than me.
but we're very similar. We have the same personality type, and that's why we get along so well. But like, I'm a lot more cynical. I'm a lot more jaded. Um, he's a little bit more. I'm more pessimistic to his optimistic.
Right.
But personality types,
Roughly the same.
like, don't ask him to be a Browns fan right now.
I'm still a Browns fan.
He
That's
just
the
he
problem.
hates.
I
He's
wish they would just move so I didn't have to be. Like, go away. I wish you never came back.
Or
Fucking go
Haslam sell the
away.
team.
Fucking go away. But it wasn't just Jimmy Haslam. There was the learners. It's just fucking go away. Like, I don't want you here anymore.
A
Like,
good a good
I
owner.
wish Brook Park was located in fucking California. Like, I want fucking send Brook Park to fucking Siberia. I don't fucking care. Like, I fucking just don't. Go Browns.
Send it to Canada. Can be part of the CFL. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll actually win something there.
we got a draft. Maybe we'll live do the draft. We have a lot of options. I had a lot of fun with this, John. I think
Oh
we killed it.
God! If we don't get a QB at 2, I'm gonna see you walk off the 480
No,
bridge.
I don't want a QB at two. I don't want a QB at
I
two.
don't either,
I
but
don't want a
if it's
QB at
good
two.
because they won't take Sanders. You know
I
how
don't
big
want.
I am on Sanders.
I don't want to. I don't want a QB. I don't want a QB at two. I want to take Will Howard in the third round. I want to take Scadaboo. I don't care what you do with that second pick. Trade it for more picks. Fucking do whatever you can do to try to convince Miles Garrett to stay in fucking Cleveland. Go fucking sign Justin Fields. Not Justin Fields. Go get Sam Darnold. Go get Kirk Cousins. Go get somebody that could just fucking be serviceable to play quarterback and will win football games. We need a line to stay healthy. We I'm not ready to blow this up. We'll talk about it later. I'm ending this
Yep.
podcast. So y'all have a wonderful
All right.
night. But hey, don't hang up. Don't hang up. Anyways, y'all have a good night.